Chairman. Chairman, just for members of the public and for members of this panel to be aware, we're currently preparing the borough local plan. It's been a huge amount of work that's been involved in that process. Our last local plan was in 2007, and that plan failed because of the planning inspector said the majority of growth should occur in Maidenhead, and also went on to say about reviewing the Greenbelt boundaries. Now, we've gone out for consultation between the 2nd of December through to the 13th of January on a Regulation 18 consultation. That means to say that we have identified 48 sites throughout the whole of the Royal Borough.
Is this clearly relevant?
Well, I am coming to that. But
I will indulge Councillor Wilson for a few more minutes, but yes.
Okay,
The need to bring it back to our...
Well, I've just given a flavour of where we're at. The reason I say that is part of developing a borough local plan is looking at population growth. And population growth obviously increases the population of children within the borough. And as such, we have to look at increasing primary school provision. And I'm sure that Kevin McDaniel, Director of Children's Services, will confirm with me that the growth area in a 0 to 4 age group has been significant. And as such, we had to determine a planning application to build a new Oldfield school on the Bray Road site for 2 forms of entry. And the reason for that was because of the expansion of primary school. At that point, when that was officially opened in September 2015, Forest Bridge School came along and wanted to utilise the old Oldfield school site, which is fair enough. You know, it is a primary school and it is a school site that should be used to the benefit of residents. And so they have used that as a special educational needs site. But as schools progress, there is often a huge demand for additional places. And where do you put those additional places? Now, I've actually kept whole copies of some old Maidenhead advertisers, one of which here is dated October the 20th, 2011, and in that the headline is School Plan for Berwick Park. And within that, it actually says, however, constructing new school buildings at Berwick would mean Maidenhead Target Shooting Club, which was formed in 1968, having to relocate. We've already heard this evening from Mr. Scott about the fact that there is potentially a new site for them to relocate to, and for the Forest Bridge School to be placed on their current site on Berwick Park. Now, if I refer to the advertiser of 27th of October 2016, which actually headlines the leisure centre relocation, if we turn to page 3 of that document, it clearly identifies Forest Bridge School within a location situated behind the Troby Carvery place. Now, that's within that particular document. It is also the Education Funding Agency, which actually supplies the necessary funds to build schools and to look at schools and look at sites, have looked at a variety of sites throughout the whole of the Royal Borough, of which there was a site selected, but unfortunately that site wasn't to be. And so they looked for an alternative provision. Part of that alternative provision was to look on the Braywick Park. And you have heard this evening as to where that potential location is likely to be. Now, as the member responsible for planning, there will be plenty of opportunities when a planning application is submitted. And that is why I declared my interest right at the beginning of this meeting that I didn't really want to discuss the planning merits, because there will be a completely separate forum to discuss the planning application when it is considered at a later time, should this panel decide whether to still proceed with this work. The point is that we know that there is need for additional school places. We know that there is additional need for special educational needs. If we can supply that offer within the Royal Borough of Windsor Maidenhead, it will therefore mean that we don't necessarily have to allow those children to go outside of the borough or outside of the county to meet that need. And that is all I'm saying, and that's why I'm presenting you with that case. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Before we wind this up, I'd like to give Claire the chance to come back and make any points, and then I think we'll see if we can reach a conclusion.
Thank you very much, Chairman. No, I absolutely agree. We must find a place for this school. It's a question of, is this the right place for this school? Not whether we have the school or not. We must have the school. I think members need to be very careful that they keep the decision, the political decision about where you put the school, separate to the planning decision about the school. Because once we have made a political decision about where something would go, be it a Hindu temple or a school or anything else, we've made a political decision that this is the piece of land it can go on. The planning committee can only make a decision on the planning merits of the case, not on the political decision about whether it's the right place to go. That is not for the planning committee to, I think the planning is nodding. So we must not get the two things confused. We have to make a decision for the right reasons in each forum. Now, a few things about public open space, which is what this committee is about. My understanding, I was a planning member, so I know a little bit about this. I don't think things have changed, despite the new additional public open space that we have now got at Cox Green, which we purchased last year, which was brilliant. We, I believe, in our local plan, are still short of public open space. So it's one of the things in our borough local plan where we haven't ticked every single box. I think the leader would agree with me.
No,
Well, okay, but I haven't heard any that has changed. Braywick Park, in the local plan, again, this is my understanding, is going to be removed from the greenbelt. It is proposed it is being removed from the greenbelt and it is going to be designated as for recreational use. That is to enable the building of the Magnet Leisure Centre. That, again, I don't think anything has changed. So, given that we don't have enough public open space, we still need more across the borough to fulfil our requirements, and given that Braywick is going to be for recreational use, I think we could be in some difficulty putting a school on there. Also, we heard the lady who spoke from the school about how important the school is and how there's a waiting list and there are going to be increasing numbers of these children who are going to need our support. I think it's vitally important that the school goes on a site where it can expand further as time goes by. Otherwise they're going to be in the same position again and we're looking for a new site to move them to. Equally, the Magnet Leisure Centre has been on the site it's on for 40 years and it's been expanded once and it's now bursting at the seams. We're proposing to build a replacement magnet that isn't a lot bigger than the one we have now. So would it not be intelligent to make certain that we have expansion space around it so over the next 40 years we're able to expand it where it's being put? Otherwise, in 40 years' time, we're going to be spending another shed load of billions of pounds moving it to another site. So I'm surprised that this school, it's been proposed that this school should go on Braywick Park before we really button down the master plan and the expansion plans and all of the things that David Scott mentioned, like where's the ground maintenance people want to go? We just haven't seen a proper master plan for the whole park. like to know if there has been a dialogue specifically with the users, the user groups. I don't think there has been. Our consultation, we just had a look at it, our consultation on our website said, we're seeking your comments on the new leisure centre. It didn't mention the school. What it did say about the school was that the Forest Bridge School will be a separate project. That's what it said on our consultation. So I'd just like to leave those thoughts with you, because you are backing a political decision. The planning process is there for a separate purpose. Thank you very much.
I've been quite quiet this evening because obviously I'm for education and children's services, and this is the cultural community, so a lot of what I had to say was said at children's owners and not in this forum tonight. But I think I would just really bring together to say that actually this has been, in some ways, that some of the questions have been presented that this was a bit haphazard, it's a bit of an accident and it's just happened, and coincidentally we have different league members. But actually this has been a teamwork rather than a silo project, and that there is planning, that